companies. Somany Ceramics reported what was a good set of Q2 numbers. The EBITDA margin and the profit after tax witnessed strong growth this quarter. The company expects better volumes in the second half on the back of improving domestic demand outlook. Abhishek Somany, who's the MD and CEO at the company, joins in to discuss this. Abhishek, hi, welcome to the show. Well, I just wanted to start by discussing the demand dynamics with you because you join us on a day where we have been talking about, for example, Oberoi Realty, which is planning to enter the Gurugram market. And, the real estate space has put behind a very strong festive season for them as well, for markets such as Mumbai. Based on all of these indicators, what is your expectation in the second half for your company when it comes to demand, given the feeder company that you do supply to is very strong, real estate?
Right. Thank you for having me on the show, first of all. I think the demand for ceramic tiles, which is absolutely at the last, is the last leg of a building. I think our demand would start spurring up based on what you just said with the very robust real estate boom, which we're expecting after a good 10 years. That would happen probably starting next year and not H2. H2 would be a normal demand, which we normally witness in any particular year. Of course, some part of it from the real estate will start showing up, but a large part of this particular uptrend in real estate will start showing up for us next year.
Okay, the uptrend in real estate will start showing up next year. Got it. I wanted to ask you about the growth that you are witnessing, for your own business, right? It was a good quarter for you, right. Quarter two. And you also saw, I think, a 6% volume growth in Q2. The market conditions were not great, but going forward, is it easy for you to record double-digit growth in the second half of the year in terms of volumes?
Yes, second half of the year per se should be double-digit growths. Although we had started the year saying that we'll do a double-digit right across the year, that we have toned down, and we think we will be in the single digits, obviously the high single digits, which means that we'll have to do a double-digit growth in the second half to really attain that. So we're very confident of that. But that is going to be partly from the real estate sector, but most of that would be the normal demand, which we generally see in H2, where most of the festive seasons are done and over with, and therefore we have a clear run from here till March.
Can you quantify that for us? When you say volume growth in the second half, what are you expecting? What's the number?
Look, to land up with a high single digit, we will have to clock a 12-13% growth. And why I'm confident of this as of now is that generally H2 is always better than H1 for an industry, for our industry specifically. Secondly, we have put in another plant which will start producing and selling towards the end of third quarter, early fourth quarter. So that should also add a little bit to the volume baseline. And on top of that, we are also looking at utilization of the plants which have come up from the September-October figures. So that again will help us notch up some volume. Exports is really doing well for the industry. So a lot of the players are based out of Gujarat, Morbi in specific, are doing extremely well in exports. Therefore, the industry kind of is now, part of the industry is focused on export, and players like us, the organized sectors, focusing more on the domestic market. So should fairly positive about the run. Overall, the demand is muted. No second thoughts on that. And it remains to be muted. But like I said, H2 is always much, much better than H1.
So does the festive season have any impact on you all? Is that a time where you probably do better business? And if so, how was it, say, compared to last year?
I'm sorry, I missed that question.
The festive season? The festive season gone by. The past 30 odd days.
No, so we generally have our demand uptake 2 months before the festive season. As you may well know, I mean, when you do a tiling job, you can predominantly dirty the apartment. And during the festive season, as Indians, we would like the apartment to be, or the house to be, as clean as possible. So our demand, if Diwali is on the 15th of November, our demand generally happens August, September.
Okay, okay. You have a plan to ramp up your sanitary ware business by 50%, the volumes by FY25. That's a big ramp up that you're looking at. Can you tell us how much capex are you planning to put on board? How will you spend for that? Because as of now, your net debt position has improved quite a bit. But do you think you'll have to take on more debt in order to fund this expansion?
No, so firstly, all the expansion for the bath fitting business, there are two parts in the sanitary ware business. One is the sanitary ware, one is the bath fittings. The bath fitting business, we've already expanded capacity, so that's over and done with. As far as the sanitary ware is concerned, we did expand capacity 15 months ago, 18 months ago. So we're still at around 65, 70% capacity utilization as of today. We were much lower last quarter. So from that point of view, I think we have a good amount of capacity which is unutilized, both in the bath fitting and the sanitary ware segment. So I do not think we need any expansion or any loan for that matter until for the next 18 months. Anyway, the sanitary ware expansion is not a very expensive expansion. So when we do that, I don't think we would be taking on any debt any which ways, even if it's at a later date. So and the base figure, you said 50% growth. The base of our sanitary ware business is fairly low, both in bath fittings and the bathware business. So to that extent, I think we have a decent headroom. That is a tall target, but we're hoping that we would be able to achieve that.
Okay, you were quite bullish on exports, Abhishek. Can you just elaborate what the growth rate is? What are you anticipating in the second half? What is your exit run rate for FY24, and what's driving it? You don't see any sort of headwinds within the space.
Sure. No headwinds currently. I think three things have happened in export. COVID has been a huge booster for the Indian ceramic industry as far as export is concerned. A lot of the traders have wanting to have a China plus moving forward. So China plus means India is the next most competitive country. That is number one. Number two, a lot of the nations across the world have put an anti-dumping on China. So necessarily they need to find other greener pastures. India happens to be the main gainer in that. Thirdly, I think India is now coming of age where people are looking at India as quality producers and no longer as very cheap producers. So all three of these combined, exports 2019, I think was at approximately a run rate of about 300 to 400 crore rupees a month. That has risen to about 2,100, 2,200 crore rupees a month as we speak. So I have the August figures, which was 2,100. I believe that's only gone up in September and October. So that's a very serious amount of exports happening. This year, annualized today, we should be looking at 24,000 crore rupees of export. And next year, the full annual figure, once this whole figure kicks in, should be anywhere between 24 and 28,000 crores. So that's a very significant exports. And these are the three things which are driving it. The organized players generally have a much smaller share of exports, but with the overall pie going up, I think export will become a decent enough business even for the organized players such as ourselves and the 2-3 other organized brands in the country.
All right, we'll let you go on that note. Thanks a lot for joining in. And, the fact that you're expecting a better volume in the second half of the year, that, of course, has got the stock quite active as well. The stock at the moment flat, but it's had a decent run lately. Let's slip into a quick break. On the other side of the break, we'll get you more on the markets and some stock-specific action as well. Stay tuned.